Women, we are the problem. Okay, I'm going to say it. We are the problem. We have unrealistic expectations and we have relational perfectionism. And I think this has to do a lot with just being different. We don't have testosterone, which is, we don't have as high amounts of testosterone, which is linked to emotional regulation and basically being more content in relationships. We are looking to find a problem at every single situation, and at no point do we ever look back on ourselves and question whether it could be us. And I am going to say, and I am a woman and I have been the problem, it is generally us that is the problem.
Why is it that a lot of white women will go to college, meet their man? That young man doesn't have all the answers.
Right.
That young man doesn't know the plan, but
Right.
they're willing to ride it out and grow with that man because there's potential in action. Whereas we want the man that makes $5 million a year, drives the Rolls Royce Cullinan, that has the multi-million-dollar house, that has. Well, this is the thing. If he's already accumulated all of these things, then why is it
Why does he need you?
Why does he need you? But not from the space of why do I need you because my business is good, but do you actually appreciate? Do you have the nurturing? Do you have the effective communicative way to actually be of value to that man? Why would he choose you? As opposed to all of these men out here that have a plan and they're in action, but they just haven't gotten there yet. What's wrong with that man?
There's nothing wrong with that man.
Well, why do so many women, they're like, he ain't made it yet. Okay, you haven't either.
When I mean by watering potential, I never heard you describe it as potential in action and potential in theory.
Men used to go to war, and now they can't do any tasks by themselves without calling their female friends.
Broke it on the way in. I'm thinking if I said it like that.
It's probably going to piss some people off, but if you bring your boyfriend, your man, into a predominantly female workout class, okay, and I'm not talking one of these like F45 where it's like there's kind of an even split. I'm talking about one where it's like there's essential oils. Okay, and everybody has to wear cute pink grippy socks to be there. I'm talking about a female fitness class. If you bring your boyfriend into that environment because you think it would be fun to exercise with him, well, nobody else in the room thought it would be fun to exercise with him. If you bring your boyfriend to a female workout class, that becomes your designated man. What's a designated man, you might ask? Great question. A designated man is when you bring a man, your man specifically, into a space where nobody else really wants him there. This is if you have roommates and you invite your man over, that's your designated man. For the time that he is in everybody else's presence, you are responsible for him. You cannot let him out of your sight. He's not an equal here. Why would he ever think he would be? And in that workout class, there is exactly one spot where it's acceptable for you and him to be, and that is at the back, and he is between you and a corner. Okay? You're at the back, and it goes you, him, wall. You, him, wall. Okay? Because nobody else signed up to hear your boyfriend grunt beside them the whole workout class. Nobody else signed up for, you know what I mean? Like, we thought we were just having a little kiki haha, wear a little do, get a little you know? And now all of a sudden your man's there ruining the vibe for everybody else. Also, he doesn't even want to be there, girl. And I know people are gonna be like, oh, what? You can't make this woman, like, have a man who's responsible. Like, the man's his own person. Why are you burdening women with another responsibility? You're the one who brought him into this fucking place. This man could literally go to any other gym, any other workout class in the whole fucking city and feel safe and feel seen and see himself represented there. Get your man out of my workout class.
Do you know that you don't run nothing but your mouth? Y'all always think that everything is for you. You don't run nothing. That person's trying to make money. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Eat your stupid toast and give it to the class where you're supposed to be.
In fact, been told multiple times that I run too strict of a program and I have too high of standards, and that's okay with me. Okay, so we're gonna run through my program list because I love watching other people's versions of these. I feel like these are like the bare minimum, most basic asks of all time. So if they seem extreme, that's a you problem, not a me problem. If you lack discernment, aka you can't think for yourself, get the fuck out of here. I don't want your friends making decisions about things for you. If you use Snapchat, I stopped using Snapchat in 2017. We don't need to be doing that. Like, you're a grown man, especially these men in their like late 20s, early 30s. Like, you should be having children, not working on a Snapchat streak. If you watch porn, that's a non-negotiable. That's disgusting. Get away from me. You are lustful and you can't control yourself. And if you can't control that, you probably can't control anything else. And I probably am not going to listen to you. If you lack ambition and or don't have any large goals in life if you're just like going about every single day like, oh, this is great. Like, no, I want a man who's working on something. I want to be able to support you as you are working on these long goals, whether that is physical health goals, whether it's business goals, whatever it is. On top of that, if you do not prioritize your health, get out of here. I'm obviously a health and wellness coach. I'm currently training for a half marathon. The gym and fitness and health is so much a part of my life. I just need somebody who agrees and aligns with that. If you have an inability to communicate and express your feelings, also an inability to be vulnerable or lack capacity for emotional intimacy, I understand if you need time to open up, and that is something that takes time. But don't even get me started. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. If you get unreasonably annoyed at traffic, or you drive unsafe when I'm in the car, or you're angry at life in any way, shape, or form, I don't need that energy around me. No, not happening. If you follow an unreasonable amount of women on the internet, you don't know them. You look thirsty following all of these people. We do not need to be doing that. Again, lustful, I don't like it. If you are less than a year out of a relationship, please get the fuck and stay the fuck away from me. No, we don't need to be doing that. If you're not curious about me or curious about things of life, if you're not somebody who's like highly inquisitive, get away from me. I think curiosity is a love language, and it is a love language I want very present in my relationship. If you don't have hobbies, again, this could be fitness, it could be reading, it could be anything. It doesn't need to be absolutely insane. I am somebody who like wants to put myself out there and wants to go do fun things, so I would also like somebody who also wants to do fun things. If you have no form of personal development, so if you don't have a therapy background, coaching, mentorship, reading, podcast, personal development, I don't know, maybe you're in like a worship group or something. I'm not here to judge you. Do whatever you want to do. I love that you are bettering yourself. It makes me happy. Either sober curious or you handle alcohol really, really well. I was sober for 90 days and I'll now probably drink once a quarter, if that. So I don't want somebody who goes out to bars that regularly or gets shit-faced and then is angry at me. If you get drunk and you love me, then get drunk. That's fine. No drugs. I don't do drugs, so I don't want somebody who does drugs. It's just a moral compass thing. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not your girlfriend. If you can go 24 hours without talking to me, keep going forever. Go another 24 and another 24 and another 24, and then we just like don't ever have to talk again. And if I do not know when I'm going to see you again, no, bye. We probably don't need to see each other again. Anyway, there's probably way more than this if I had to take a guess, and I understand that these are to some people unreasonably high standards. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles, okay?
I mean, I feel like a lot of these are great, right? But I feel like the attitude for a lot of these women is very masculine. Is there another way that you can portray these? A lot of these women, especially with their movements and their shoulders, they do this thing to where they're just kind of like, oh, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. You're going to do this and you're going to do that. Oh, how about you do this and you do that? You don't have to do that. There's a way that you can express yourself, which a lot of modern women have lost the art of doing. They've lost the art of femininity. Just because you have nails on and you get your hair highlighted and you throw in some makeup does not make you feminine. A lot of these women are moving in a way that is very masculine.
Morning. So, for all those thinking about sliding into my DMs, I do suggest you go watch my cut list. You might change your mind.
I don't know what y'all got going on, but ain't nobody worried about your list. No cut, dice, dip, dodge, none of that. Girl, leave folks alone.
No. Nope.
You used to let me drink after your stuff all the time.
That's when you was pure.
I'm still pure.
No, you ain't. You go to HBCU.
What do that have to do with anything?
And do everything.
No, I don't.
Got to do with everything.
Y'all are ridiculous, Daddy. I need something.
You better not touch my straw. I know that. You put your mouth on my straw, I'm telling you, you going to the store and you buying me another drink.
I got all this food for free.
I don't care. Don't touch my drink, baby. Don't ever put your mouth on my drink no more. Them days is over with.
There's a place on earth where 1 in 4 men are essayed by women. In this place, older women routinely essay younger children. And some of the more powerful women from this place have actually gotten an island to do this activity. In this particular place, women are mass aliving people in schools. Women are taking birth control, reproductive rights away from men. These women had decided not to study men's bodies in medical research until just a few decades ago. And in this place, 95% of intimate partner violence against men are women. Women in this place on earth hold most of the wealth and they make most of the laws. Most of the power positions are held by women. The men are paid less than women in virtually all areas of this region, while doing the most unpaid care and domestic work, averaging to around 10% of the global GDP if calculated. I'm really worried about this place on earth.
And you know, men being silly in the comment section and talking about where is this place so I can avoid it. Where is this place? I'm taking notes. You know, we wouldn't want to go there. Just being silly, you know. But you have to think about how dangerous this place would be for men, because this place would be a place where men get to hop online all day and talk about how they want to sit in the passenger seat and do nothing, how they want to prop their feet up on somebody's dashboard, eat snacks all day, listen to music. They control the radio. They're not even the ones driving, but they control the radio. They're on their phone making TikToks, doing stupid stuff at their big, ripe, old age of 31, making TikToks like they're in high school. Talking to, oh, look at me, I'm with the girlies. This is my hubby, princess. This is my wife. Prince treatment, drizzle, never settle. Wow, what a world that would be. What a world it would be if men would sit up there talking about how lazy and bare minimum these women were. All these women got up every single day and worked in every single environment, every season, just outside working. What a world it would be where men got up talking about how they were doing so much work, but then they didn't realize they were talking about only 10% of the work that they did in the grand scheme of 100%. And that 10% somehow mattered more than 100% of the work, or I should say 90% of the work. Even if you bring the number down to 60%, by any statistics, you look at the statistics and you can see that women are outworking the men. Wouldn't it be a world where these men sit up here and call in just for a mental health day, that they can waltz out here and just tell a lie online, that they tell all of their business online, and they get mad when people tear them apart for some of the stupid decisions that they've made? Wouldn't that be grand? These men could come out here asking for money that doesn't belong to them while simultaneously doing nothing and then feeling entitled to that money, not saying well, it's the women that give it to us. Yeah, but don't you think that you should say thank you and be grateful for it? Because you could be working, you could be slaving away, but the men are entitled to this and they think that a woman giving them money is the bare minimum. What world would it be where these women would be out here, listen to Shira 8 talk about sprinkle, or I should say drizzle. Go out here and find you a woman that's going to give you everything. You don't do anything, you disrespect them. You a bum, you a loser, you walk around being a bum and a loser. You get online and talk trash all day. You lay in bed talking about how women shouldn't be able to take a break, how women should be working all of the time. They should work themselves to the bone. Women used to go to war. What a life that would be. What a life that would be. I just wonder at that point in time, if men knew how hard the world actually was, instead of crying and complaining and moaning about how hard, how less these women are doing, would it change the outcome? Probably not, because these men are entitled and they're losers.
Yo, I'm waiting in the car for my boyfriend's haircut, and somebody tell me how long a haircut takes, because he went in there at 10 and it's 10:40. Bitch, do I have to go in there and get him? Because at this point, I'm going to learn how to cut his damn hair myself. He wants to be up in this barbershop every fucking week. I'm really about to go in there and see who's in there, because No, and you know what? Now that he brought me and now that I know the barbershop name, I'm about to go do my research. Let me find out he's being posted. My heart goes out for all the all the girls whose barber be posting their man, because girls be thirsty as fuck in the comments asking for their ad and shit. Like, girl. 10:46 and he barely wants to come back. I know damn well a haircut don't take an hour. And now I'm gonna lock his ass out. Should have left him here.
Madison Humphrey getting exposed as a Trump supporter. What I've always found so funny about when this happens to content creators, because like I don't know how you guys couldn't have saw this one coming. But what I always find so funny when this stuff kind of happens is like, listen, if you are a Trump supporter, if you're a Biden supporter, if you like the Green Party, for all you know. What I've never understood is I don't understand how you can have a political opinion and then when people go, oh, I know you voted for this person, you can't stand on it. I lost, followers because people found out who I'm politically affiliated with, then so be it, because that's my morals and that's my standards. How are you going to sit there like clearly being a Trump supporter because she likes a bunch of Melania's posts and all this different stuff, and then the moment people are like, hey, you like Trump, she like goes and unlikes it. So it's either like you knowingly know you're supporting something bad, or you're just too scared to stand on something that you actually like. For those who don't know, I was not somebody who voted for Trump during the last election. I've made several videos talking about that. I was even on the Jubilee video where I was like 20 woke liberals against, one conservative or something like that. But the reality is if a bunch of people who supported Trump unfollowed me, then like so be it, because the reality is we obviously have some disagreements and whatever. How are you going to sit there engaging and liking a bunch of Melania's posts and clearly agreeing with so many things with this man, and then the moment people are like, oh, do you support him, you don't want to say yes. You go and start unliking all of the videos and posts that you've ever liked when it's too late. Like, everyone knows, so just stand on it. Like, continue making your reenactments of already viral cringe videos and continue, because even regardless, call me a hater, but I've never understood the whole following that she has, because literally all she does is see a viral video, do it exactly the same with her friends, and then somehow we call that funny. It is literally the skit equivalent if your friend like slipped and fell on his way into a building and then somebody was like, wait, watch this, and then they just did the exact same slip and fall. It is genuinely the most uncreative way to get a following and unfunniest way to be funny, but that's just my opinion. But hey, what do you think?
Okay, so I have a question. What's the bigger flex for a man? If your woman doesn't work and she stays at home? Or is the bigger flex that your woman is super successful in whatever she does? Does it matter? I know men are always in competition and stuff. I just wanted to know. I had this debate the other.
In order for us to achieve peace on planet Earth and get the things that we want to get out of this life, we're going to have to delete 90% of men. Here we go! So if I was president of the universe, we would literally structure society so that we can finally achieve a matriarchy. But in order to do that, we have to get rid of most men, because let's just face it, most men are not going to change.
You want to get rid of 90% of men? Cool. But also, just to make things fair so you can have your matriarchy, get rid of 90% of male innovation too. And let's get rid of 90% of male contribution as a whole. Let's talk about almost all the housing that exists. Get rid of 90% of that. Let's get rid of 90% of the companies that were founded by men, like Apple, Google, Amazon, TikTok, Facebook, and all these other things. Let's get rid of 90% of all gasoline in the world. Oh, if you get rid of 90% of men, who's gonna work the deep sea oil rigs?
Elon Musk has said that by the year 2031, we will be able to support life on planet Mars. So I'm suggesting that we ship 90%, the bottom 90% of men to Mars so that we can achieve the matriarchy.
No. Men built most of the amenities that you guys find comfortable out here. So how about you start your matriarchy on Mars? That we can start fresh. You won't even have male influence around.
And what does that leave us with? That leaves us with the top 10% of men.
I have a question for you. What do you think the top 10% of men are going to do? Bow down to your feet?
And how do we want to repopulate the planet? We can have sporting competitions to decide who is the most athletic. We can have mental competitions to see who is the smartest, the best IQ. We can have social competitions to decide who has the best heart.
Getting into literal like one-on-one competitions to decide who breeds? You want to take us back to what animals do? That's amazing. Okay.
You're probably wondering, well, we got rid of all the men. Who's going to do our construction work? We can literally 3D print our houses if we want to.
Oh, wow. Would you look at that? Another male invention, 3D printing. You're going to 3D print your houses. You think that shit's just going to stand? There's a reason why they don't 3D print houses.
Or we can have strong women do the work.
So you're just going to get the biggest, strongest women and force them to build houses. Slavery, basically. Okay, cool.
And the best part about women is that not only can they be strong and competent, but they can also produce more men if we need to.
Except this time the men will have great genes because we weeded out all of the bad gene pool.
You think two people with good genes automatically get a great gene child? A large portion of your personality is genetic, but just because you have two people with good genes, you could still get an evil fucking kid.
And I know some of you out there are thinking, well, what happens with all of the men that we send to Mars? What are they going to do up there? I don't know. I mean, they probably want to smash each other, so we should just let them do their thing. And
calling man gay. Oh, reliable.
I just don't think that we can have them on our planet if we want a chance at survival as women who have power.
You do realize eventually the men are just going to take power again, right? It always happens. Like, there's, okay. Once they realize that they're bigger and stronger than you, they're not going to take shit from you.
And if you have other suggestions on how we can rebuild a matriarchy on planet Earth, let me know in the comments.
How about you try your little experiment on like an island somewhere? There's plenty of islands and there's plenty of like barren land. Have an all-women city. Let me know how that goes.
Appreciate you breaking this down, bro. These modern women, they just get on here and say they just say anything, man. They really they say anything. That's really the long and short of it. They just continue to say anything. They don't know what they're talking about. And quite frankly, they don't care. These modern women, their research don't be grounded in nothing. Can you imagine doing a thesis and a dissertation based on a magazine article? And people saying that that's valid? Yeah, defend your argument. It's a magazine article. It's an op-ed. It's an opinion piece. I mean, what do we even take? There's no research. It's just somebody's opinion. And we're taking it as a scientific fact, a logical fact. Like they just made it up out of thin air. They just made it up this morning. And we're sitting up here listening to it as if it's been scrutinized, as if it's been peer reviewed. Losers. This is what we're getting for our money.
My thoughts are that you are unbelievably unique and obviously very intellectual and intelligent and communicative. And yes, I did vote for one specific person recently. And I understand that makes you uncomfortable, and I get that. And I'm not pleased with my decisions.
Wait, why are you beating around the bush?
No, I voted. I did. I get it. I'm not beating around the bush.
In 2024? Okay, then why did you just say that you didn't? That was weird.
Because I'm horribly embarrassed and intimidated by you. I'm embarrassed to...
That was like really weird.
That was I should not have done that. I agree with you. You're the type of woman that is intimidating to a guy like me. In that you're very, very intelligent and few and far between. You are very few and far between.
You must be like in cahoots with the other Trumpies of the world, because there's a lot of women that are equally as intelligent or maybe in touch as me. Do you just want to take me home?
Sure.
That was so weird. Why would you... whatever.
Listen, man. If you voted for somebody, stand on that. If you voted for Joe Biden, stand on it. Kamala Harris, stand on it. Donald Trump, stand on it. Whoever it was, George Bush, George W. Bush, George H. Bush, stand on it. That's who I thought would be best to run the country. Stop letting these loser women back you down. They'll sit up there, bro. You understand that she don't run nothing. She don't run nothing, bro. Hey, this is who I voted for. Wow, yeah. Hey, if you don't like it, you can get out of my car. I can drop you back off. But we're not about to sit up here and shame my choices and not talk about yours, because you think you got some other moral high ground. You think that you're so much better than me because you voted for somebody else, somebody different. When I can go through and pick apart what I didn't like about them and what nobody should like about them, what people should be alarmed about. I could do that, but I didn't. And that's now, if you say, hey, I would rather, date somebody that aligns with this. right? Because you might say, man, I only vote Democrat. And then the Democrat come out there and say something stupid and you gonna still vote for him? They do something stupid and you're like, whoa, I was. Yeah, hey, did you vote Democrat? Man, I was until they came out with this, man. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. So, you seem like you leaning Republican. Oh no, man. I ain't never voted. I ain't never done it in my life. I ain't never voted Republican in my life, man. But they crazy. I mean, that was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. And vice versa. You lock yourself in a box by doing this, bro. Do not let a woman back you down. I don't know what you thinking about. I don't know what you doing. This is what my dad would call jellyback, mealy mouth. Don't do that. Don't do that. Number one. Number two, and you sat up there and apologized to her. You sat up there and apologized to her and you were respectful to her. This is what your respect got you. This is what these modern women are doing. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. These women are not to be respected. These women are not to be dealt with. Leave them alone. Let them go. All right. Hey, listen, that's who I voted for. I understand you don't agree with it, but these were my reasons for voting for that person. I didn't have enough confidence in this candidate to, well, you got it. I don't care. I'm not shaming you for who you voted for. What you talking to me for? Now just say you don't agree with it and you would rather end this date. You would rather end our time together. I will take you home. But if we can't have no civil discourse, if we can't have no peaceful, I should say, peaceful discourse about it. I understand it might get heated. I understand you might feel some type of way. I understand you might get upset. But now you're trying to disrespect me. Now you're trying to punk me. And that's exactly what she did. Because of your stupidity. That's exactly what she did. She punked you. You let that woman punk you and said, no, yeah, listen. And now she got you all over the internet. Oh, post it again. Post what happened and this, and this. And now y'all remember in some other videos when they were mad at that man, Julian, I can't remember what his last name is, for walking up to that woman. I didn't consent to be recorded. Wow, you're that. Nobody told me. Didn't I tell you? Didn't we see it? There it is. Did he consent to being recorded? Not only recorded, but posted. Did he consent to that? Oh, but why do men think that they can? Why I don't understand why men think that they can control and record people like that. Why you without nobody permission? Yeah. Here we are doing stupid stuff. You sound slow. You sound stupid. I'm telling you, man. I'm fired up about this, bro. Never, absolutely not. Unless it's, I'm trying to think of a special circumstance to where this is permissible. I can't find one right now. If she can have her opinion, you can have yours. Her opinion this is what modern women do. Her opinion is not better than yours. Her decision making is not better than yours. Unless you went out there and you just said, well, I just vote straight ticket. Straight ticket. I mean, obviously, depending on when you go and vote, you might not have looked all those other people up, just like she hadn't. But if you say, I mean, for the president, I looked at this and I've listened to the debates and this was the decision. I watched both of them and this is my right to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, and that's what it is. And, I'm respectful to you. So I think you should be respectful to me. And she's still going off. She's still talking stupid. Nah, I'm not waiting for her to end the date. I'm ending it. Matter of fact, I don't even know if this woman would have even been in my car. That's what I'm saying. I don't even know if she would have been in my car, dog.
Women like this creator are dangerous and do not give a about women. I am really tired of women on this app whose biggest enemies are feminists and never the men who sexually assault women, beat their partners, kill women, traffic and exploit girls, stalk women, harass and abuse women at work, financially control and trap women, commit mass violence, war crimes against women. These pick-me's hate feminists more than abusers. Because how do you claim to care about women so much, yet never have time to explain why 90% of rapists are men? But they'll tell you the problem is feminists fighting to hold those rapists accountable. They never acknowledge that men represent around 90% of homicide suspects across the globe. But they'll tell you your biggest fear should be feminists saying they don't like men online. They ignore that men can make up to 95% of domestic violence perpetrators. They will not address female genital mutilation, child marriage, or the stripping of education and economic freedom of women. They never have actual discussions about the real dangers women face because their number one concern is policing how nicely women should ask for equality. People like her are not here to protect us. So do yourself a favor. Block her. Move on. And let the men she caters to fund her.
You know, it's always something going on with you guys. That's the thing. It's always something going on with you guys. It's never good for you. It's never good for you. Like there's always something going wrong, and a man is always at the center of it. It's never y'all's friends leaving y'all in a freezer somewhere. Oh, we didn't even know where she went. We looked for her, but it didn't happen. We don't know what happened to her. And leave her mom crying in front of the cameras, the news cameras. But it's always a man. What happened to my baby? Where's my baby at? Somewhere in Mexico, leaking on the beach. Well, did y'all at least take her to the hospital? No, she got what she got. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean for all that to happen, but she got it. She has to understand that, you just pushed me too far. You should be in jail right now. But it's always a man though. I get it. Y'all are never going to hold yourselves accountable for the stupid stuff that y'all do, for the weird stuff, for the vile, perverted, disgusted, and twisted stuff y'all do. But y'all can sit up there, go off about what a man does, and get mad at a woman for saying, well, hold on now. You got women that do weird stuff too. And you got women out there that will admit to doing weird stuff. But of course, it's always a man's fault.
And for all the beta males that just got rage baited in my last few videos, you're welcome. I sincerely hope you find the man you're looking for, because what is wrong with this generation? More girls are single for a reason. That's because males are becoming females. Goodbye.
We are living in the era of the bitchy straight boy, and all there is to be done about it is just give him a little yes, diva. Yes, girl. Let these bitches know. They want to be mean girl, bitchy, girly pop so bad. Yes, your time has come.
Okay, I'm getting blasted
By him?
on the internet right now
Oh.
from all of you guys. Okay, I'm a lower value woman because I have kids. I hear you. I see your reasons. Doesn't make me less valuable. It makes my dating potential less valuable. Noted. I hear you all. Thank you so much for your beautiful and kind words. I'm now lesbian.
So if you guys have noticed, one of the biggest hurdles to matchmaking is the disconnect between someone's preferences or requirements and what they're bringing to the table. And that's why this following exchange and various variations of this exchange are pretty common. Okay, let's get into it. Male, 34, lawyer, based in the US, average looking in my opinion, and 5'9". He'd like someone educated as they will be able to fit in with his family, who are all educated. He won't limit the profession, but usually that means higher education, working at a notable company, or some other achievement such as awards or getting published. He's not open to matches from abroad. He wants someone attractive and who takes care of herself. And he's not open to someone older, but up to 10 years younger is okay. So I sent him 2 matches, and one of the bios he actually responded to saying that my process must be a really detailed one because he's impressed with how much of a match this person is on paper, but he did decline both of them after viewing photos. He then sent me a message to clarify his request, telling me that he's looking for someone who's very attractive, and that while the other things are important, they are secondary to this. And then he asked me if such a person even exists. So what actually rubs me wrong about this message is the fact that he doesn't remove any of his preferences. He just classifies them and labels them as secondary, except that really doesn't do anything when you're still asking for everything on top of top tier good looks. And here's my response to him. A woman with the level of attractiveness you are seeking, along with all the other qualities you want, absolutely exists, and there are quite a few of them in my pool. However, based on their requests, they are seeking the same qualities in a partner, including someone who is very conventionally attractive as they are, and which I would say you are not. I don't feel it's fair to present matches that only align for one party, as these women will likely decline to be matched with you based on their preferences. I would suggest revisiting your requirements to consider where you may be able to compromise. Are you open to someone overseas? Are you open to someone who is not as educated or career driven? Are you open to someone less attractive? I understand that you may not want to compromise. However, I'm sharing my perspective after seeing firsthand the requirements that these women have.
Bro, if you chopped, you gotta let that dream die, Doc. You got, I mean, she can't be super ugly. I know what you're saying, but if this woman is saying you average, and then she's sending you women that kind of meet where you are, why not? And they're smart, I think, and like they're right up your alley. I think you said they're right up your alley. Why not take them on a date? Why not take them on a date? They ain't gotta be. See, what you did is you said, oh, they're cute, but they gotta be bombshell. No, bro, they don't. That's if they got the smarts, if they got everything that you want, but they say, for instance, a 7, you got it made. You got it made, Doc. Who knows? If she put on a little bit of makeup, that might be right. I mean, she might be what you're looking for, Doc. I'm telling you. Call this woman back and reconsider. Reconsider, man.
If men don't suspect that there's any interest on your end, even if they're interested, they're not going to pursue and they're not going to be as clear about it. So as women, if we are interested, we have to make sure we're showing some variation of that to give the man the green light that he can then show us his signs of interest. We got to open the door for him to walk through it.
Yes.
That's my motto.
1000%.
Story time about how an influencer flew me out to Miami this past weekend and then ghosted me. I have tried filming this video 3 times now, and I keep making it too long because I'm getting too in the weeds, so I'm really gonna try and just blow through this. I want to be very clear that I am stating what happened to me, my experiences. I am not inferring anything about what he might have going on. This is not permission to go bully this person, but I do think this story time needs to be held, because if he was so quick to fly me out, I feel like he does this all the time, and I do want to warn other women. So everyone's favorite Asian tatted book talk OF influencer, Will, flew me out round trip first class to Miami this past weekend. I land at 11 o'clock on Friday, doesn't pick me up at the airport like he originally said he was going to, instead sends an Uber to pick me up, Ubers me to the place that he got for me, because he was like, I don't do overnights, so we're not gonna like spend the night together, you'll have your own space, I'll meet you there so I can give you the keys, whatever. Ubers me to this complex. I had to text him I was there. He like wasn't waiting for me even in the lobby. Didn't take my bags up. Very weird like first interaction. Mind you, this man was very quick to fly me out. I had slid into his DMs on Instagram being thirsty because I'm single, having fun. I like being single, and so I just was looking for fun. He seemed like he was on the same page. He had responded right away and was like, I want to fly you out. I never asked to be flown out. I didn't ask to be flown out first class. Nothing. This was all him offering it up and driving that portion of the conversation and interaction. Now, knowing what this weekend was going to be, again, it wasn't like dating conversation, getting to know each other. Like this was just fun weekend. My one caveat is I said, you need to get tested. And he was like, yes, I absolutely will. I had reminded him again, like another 4 days before I went. I was like, you better have gotten tested. And he was like, yes, Angel, I promise. Fast forward, we are in the condo that he got for me. And I asked him, I said, did you get tested? And he tells me no. I was pretty upset. I was very vocal about that. I was like, I asked one thing of you. And he goes, I know, I'm sorry. Like things really got ahead of me.
And it don't matter whether you got tested or not, because if you still down, I'm still down. So all this about it really made me angry. I don't want to hear none of that. You still was going.
My move-in for my new apartment was supposed to be Wednesday, and I was actually moved up to Monday. So I said, Will, that's really poor planning then, because what happens if the flights get delayed? Because we had talked about weather. Weather was supposed to be really bad this weekend. And he was like, that's perfect, because if you happen to get stuck in Miami longer, you can just help me move. I would love to kidnap you. He had said that over and over before, even leading up. He was like, I would love to kidnap you and have you stay here in Miami with me. So not a problem. Okay. Now I had gotten a tan, nails done, new lingerie. I had eaten pineapple every day for the week leading up, okay? I was primed and ready. So I made him wrap it, and we still do the deed. We go back, sit on the couch, and he's like, let's put on my comfort show. And I said, what's your comfort show? And he says, Dahmer. And I said, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And he was like, no, really, I think it's funny. I was like, what do you mean you think Dahmer is funny? And he's like, well, I don't know. When I'm high, it makes me laugh. And then we started getting into a conversation about drugs. He was like, do you do any drugs or anything? I was like, no, I don't even smoke weed. I don't even really drink a lot. And he's like, oh, really? And he's like, here. And he hands me his vape. I'm a when in Rome kind of gal. So I'm getting high with him or sitting on the couch. I still think watching Dahmer is weird. And so I say that to him. I was like, this is one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had in my life. And he goes, haha, yeah, I can't wait for your story times on that one. This is definitely going to be a memorable date. And I went, full stop, this is not a date. He goes, what do you mean it's not a date? I said, you didn't pick me up from the airport. There's no flowers. You flew me out here. You were importing pussy. And he goes, that's a wild thing to say. And I was like, no, but it's true, because we knew what this weekend was. And you were really quick to it, so you must do this all the time. And he's like, well, I used to, but I haven't in a while. I was like, whatever. And he goes, no, really, I talk to you more than I talk to anybody else. And I said, you don't need to, we don't need to lie. I don't need to hear that. This is just going to be fun. We're going to have a fun time. And he was like, no, but really, I talk to you more than anybody else. I'm just not a big texter. And I was like,
ma'am, you're ruining the vibe. You knew what you came out there for. You are ruining the vibe. Seriously, what are we doing all this talking for? If you say what modern women, what they try to do is they try to get you where they want you. Oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you only came for one thing. It don't matter. You only came for one thing. Well, he did this, you only came for one thing. Focus on the mission. You want to talk to him about, oh, well, this ain't a date. You only came for one thing. Are you thinking that you're some sort of high-end lady of the night? You're not. You're just weakened. You're weakened, P. That's what you are. Want to fly? Oh, she looks great. I'm an influencer. Yeah, I mean, I paid for your little flight. 500 round trip. Yeah, come on here. I got your little place to stay. Come on. Come in here. Don't come over my house though. We'll meet somewhere else. You're trashy. Come on, man. Trashy.
That's really sad. In the whole 2-3 months that we were talking, we had exchanged maybe somewhere between 40 and 60 messages. That is it. We didn't have really full conversations. We didn't talk about each other, nothing. We would send kind of sexual voice notes or whatever, and that was it. Now, I don't know if you've seen Because of Winn-Dixie or if you've read it, but those lemon candies that make you feel melancholy, that's what he feels like to be around. It is palpable. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of conversations we had, because that's really not anybody else's business. You don't need to know that. But the gist of it is I think he has a lot of unresolved trauma, and he runs from his problems, and so he will self-medicate, and that's just kind of his thing. He's not somebody that I envy. That's for sure. So he's hearing about my life, and I don't do drugs or anything, and he was like, I don't have anybody like you in my life. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, you just have your shit together. He says, you have the house and your boat, and you're doing the whole thing, and you don't do drugs, and you like all your friends. And I was like, yeah, I have a really good life. I said, I have a small life, but it's a really good one. Verbally, he's being very sweet. He was telling me nonstop the whole time that we were together that night, from when I landed until he left, how beautiful I am over and over, complimenting me on my eyes. The big thing for me is, if you've been around here a while and one of my followers, you know that my litmus test for guys is always, they'll compliment me and say I have beautiful eyes, and then I'll hide them and say you don't even know what color they are, and usually they'll be like, they're brown, they're beautiful brown eyes. I'm laying on his lap, right? We're watching TV, and I had turned back and looked up at him really quick, and like turned and looked back at the TV, and he said, you have beautiful eyes. And I was like, you can't even see what color they are yet, because it's in the dark. I had only met him at night. And he says, they're green. And so my head snapped back to look at him, and he was like, I notice things. He called me the dream girl. Like, he was like, ideal, like physically or what I like. I always go for older women. Like,
Girl, you're talking too much. Y'all only, you are there to complete a job. This is not a girlfriend experience. Stop talking. Stop talking. Close your mouth. Close your mouth from talking. You're already on his lap. You know what you should be doing. This is not a date. That's what you said. We know what it is. Stop the talking. Do your business and get back to your hotel. If you do it now, you can get a full 6 to 7 hours of sleep. You can be up for breakfast tomorrow and be back on that plane, ready to go. You can be back in your bed tomorrow afternoon. But you gotta stop talking and get down to business.
he was telling me about the 2 like past relationships that he had had. The whole time I was there, like, I felt wanted by him, which was great. I felt comfortable. He leaves for the night, and he was like, it's time for me to go back and sleep. I know I'm going to sleep really well tonight. And I was like, okay, cool. What time am I going to see you tomorrow? And he goes, oh, I don't know. Okay. That's not helpful. And he said, well, I'll text you when I wake up and we'll figure it out. Also, before on the couch, he's like, what do you want to do in Miami? What do you want to see in Miami? We should go out Saturday night, like to a club. Like, I thought that would be fun. We had all these conversations. The next day rolls around. Don't hear from him, don't hear from him, don't hear from him, don't hear from him. Finally, around like 1 o'clock, I sent a selfie of me laying out in the sun, and I was like, weather's really great. Finally, at like 12:30, he says, oh yeah, good morning, the weather is perfect today. And I said, well, not back home, because my flight actually got pushed. And he goes, okay, what's the new flight? And so I sent him the new flight, and he said, so we have to get you another place for another night then. And I was like, okay. Don't hear from him, don't hear from him, don't hear from him. I wait until like 2:30, and I try calling him, and he sends me straight to voicemail. At 3 o'clock, I send him a message. I say, hey, I came all this way here for you. Like, I'm kind of sitting here twiddling my thumbs. I'm going to need you to communicate with me. Because I was originally supposed to leave first thing Sunday morning, so I had like 24 hours in Miami, and he was wasting it. And with that, he sent me $250. And I never heard from him again. Mind you, I'm in a strange place. Never been in Miami before. It was the Miami City Marathon, so there were no rooms available. Certainly nothing for $250. Could not get a hold of him. There was no response from him. Absolutely nothing. I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to make a part 2. These are just getting too long.
A new year.
There's no part 2 that you need to make. He sent you $250. Go home. You already have a flight. There's nothing in Miami for $250. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Right? Maybe you can't stay in Miami, so catch an Uber. I mean, you could have gotten on Expedia and saw what there was for a night. I can guarantee you right now, you can find something for what you need. Matter of fact, so I'm looking at it right here. So I'm looking at just a 1-day stay, Miami Beach, okay? And, really what I see, I limit it to 134 because you got to get the Uber, right? And I don't think Miami International is that far away from Miami Beach, to be honest. I could be wrong. it's rated at 3.9. I didn't remember Miami International was rated that bad. We just, bro, 17 minutes. So that's going to take you, what? $40. Let's say $40 for an Uber there, okay? So now, what I'm looking at for this, and it giving me some options here, you got something rated at 8.6. That's about $60 a night. It was $95. Total with taxes and fees, you're looking at $75. You got another one, total with taxes and fees, $60. Another one, $91, right? So you've got options. You have options, right? Yeah, here's another one. 8.8, rated an 8.8, $70. Total with taxes and fees. And these are not, this actually looks like the hotel that Scarface, around that area that Scarface was in, or was shot in. But you don't need a whole lot. You're just trying to get home. So basically my point is, he sent you enough money to get where you need to go. $250. That's $250 to get for the night because your flight got pushed back. Okay? So for the night, you're going to go get something to eat. Say you spend $20 to go get something to eat. Get you a pizza, right? For $10. $10, that's $240. You get your hotel for $75. And so what is that? You're up to 85, you spend 85, then you got to get up. Well, let's say you spend 40. So you do 40 for the Uber, 40 for so wherever you are, 40 for the Uber to the hotel, 40 for the Uber to the place. You spend 75 to get to for the hotel, and then you spend $10 on some food for that night. And then you get up and you get to the plane and you say, okay, and now let's say you spend $15 on food, right? So you say 15 in the airport, okay? You spend 180 and you still got cash. So, if they add some sort of tax or weird stuff on, then you still got money. He sent you 250, right? You spent 80 or 180, so you got 70 left. So when you touch down, that's enough to get you another Uber home, right? So let's say you spend another 40. You still got 30, and you can get you something to eat when you touch down. The point is you have nothing to complain about. Shut up and get it done.